Well, after weeks of delay, Nancy Pelosi says Democrats will vote this week to send articles of impeachment to the Senate. And Republicans say Hunter Biden should absolutely be called to testify if witnesses are included in the trial.
So what can we expect in a trial? Joining us live to break it down, everything from pivotal votes to party strategy, is former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Malcolm. Sir, thanks for coming on today.
Great to be with you.
As it stands right now, and as Mitch McConnell wants it, something similar to the last time we saw an impeachment trial, right?
Well, yes, the rules are certainly going to be the same. Whether there are going to be any witnesses or not is the big question, and that remains to be seen. In the Clinton impeachment trial, there were kind of sort of witnesses. There ended up being 3 witnesses who testified via videotaped deposition, but that decision wasn't made until after the lawyers on both sides had made their arguments and senators got to ask questions of them, and that's what's going to happen this time.
Can you talk about the role the Chief Justice will take?
Yeah, very little role. So the Chief Justice, this is not like any other trial. It's not like a trial at all. The rules of evidence don't apply. The Chief Justice is there for one reason. So normally the Vice President is the presiding officer of the Senate and is there to break ties. But the Founding Fathers thought it was unseemly to have the Vice President preside over a trial in which, if the President was removed, he would become the President. So they said, all right, well, if we can't have the Vice President do this, we'll have the Chief Justice do this. And he will make rulings, but every ruling that he makes is subject to argument and being overruled by a majority vote of the senators. I think he is going to make himself, Chief Justice Roberts, as unobtrusive as possible and basically blend into the background.
The GOP obviously is in control of the Senate, but if we look at the numbers here, it's fairly close. 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, and then you have 2 independents, mostly acting as Democrats as well. But people like, namely Susan Collins, also Mitt Romney, could make those numbers even closer in some ways.
Yeah, no, that's right. So every ruling, as I just said, is subject to being overruled by a majority vote. The decision ultimately about whether to call witnesses and which witnesses to call, that will be made by a majority vote. And you have some people on both sides of the political aisle. On the Democratic side, folks like Joe Manchin and Doug Jones. On the Republican side, Lisa Murkowski, Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, where you don't know exactly which way they are going to go. And if they decide to call witnesses, then that opens things up considerably. You could get John Bolton, Mick Mulvaney, you could get Hunter Biden, you might even get Adam Schiff. So who knows? That will be the big vote as to whether to call witnesses and which witnesses to call.
Can you talk about the importance of party strategy? I mean, some people at this point are wondering the Democrat strategy, considering it's taken this long to get to this point.
Well, it's hard to know what their strategy is going to be, since it seems to me inconceivable, absent some new bombshell, that the president is actually going to be removed from office. That will require a vote of 67 senators. But look, I think that they will be designed to muddy the president up, much like the Republicans did with President Clinton, to say, look, he did something wrong. You may choose not to remove him, but this is not a good guy who follows the rule of law.
So John Bolton called it a drug deal. The Democrats would love to have him testify. How do you think that'll play out?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're supposed to conduct an investigation in the House of Representatives and then bring the charges, and the trial takes place in the Senate. If you're really to open this up to things like Hunter Biden and John Bolton, you're really saying basically, gee, we didn't finish the investigation. Let's continue the investigation in the Senate. I don't know whether the senators are going to put up for that, and my guess is that John Bolton, who's a very independent, strong-minded guy, will say some things that will help the president and some things that might hurt him.
All right, John Malcolm, thanks so much for breaking it down and joining us this morning.
Good to be with you.